Many women in developing countries suffer sexual violence inflicted by their husbands and partners. We did a survey of experts in household and gender economics, asking them what they thought the main reason for this was. More than half of respondents identified cultural beliefs in male dominance as the most important reason. The next most cited reasons were women's economic dependence on men, or the fact that men don't suffer consequences for their behaviour. Less than 2% of respondents indicated fertility preferences as a driver of sexual violence. In research led by Professor Sonia Bhalotra under her European Research Council Advanced Grant at Warwick, in collaboration with Dr. Sam Rawlings at the University of Reading, we investigated the hypothesis that men commit sexual violence instrumentally so as to enforce their fertility preferences on their wives. We tested this hypothesis using representative data on close to 40,000 men and women interviewed in the last decade in India. People were asked how many children they want, how many children they have, and the gender of their children. Women were also asked in private whether they had suffered sexual violence from their husbands. The evidence is consistent with our hypothesis. We find that in couples where the man desires more children than the woman, relative to couples where the man and women agreed on their desired number of children, sexual violence is 13% higher. We confirm that sexual violence does result in more children being born to a couple. This instrumental motive of men would fail if women were using contraception. We find that our results emerge from families where either no contraception or concealable contraception is used. And we conclude that sexual violence is used as a means of reproductive coercion. Further analysis shows that the tendency for excess male fertility preferences to manifest as sexual violence is stronger in households and in regions in which there is a stronger tradition of son preference. So how can policymakers intervene to improve upon this situation? We evaluated two recent policies in India. One expanding access and encouraging contraceptive use amongst couples, and the other encouraging couples to value daughters as much as sons. We find that whilst the contraceptive use policy had its intended impact of raising visible contraceptive use, it had no effects on men's fertility preferences and no effects on sexual violence. However, the policy designed to change norms around the relative value of sons and daughters lowered men's fertility preferences more than women's, and it lowered sexual violence against women, particularly in households with high son preference and fertility. Our study is of potentially wide interest given the stylised fact that preferences over fertility often diverge between men and women, with men on average wanting more children than women, possibly because women bear a disproportionate share of the burden of childbearing. In richer countries, typically both partners need to agree on having another child. In poorer countries, women often have more limited reproductive autonomy. It is known that women often have more children than they want to, and it is known that women suffer intimate partner violence. We provide the first evidence that sexual violence may be motivated by the desire of men to realise more fertility than their wives want to have.